Hi, I'm Victor, the main organizer of the Full Stack Flutter conference. On this channel, we publish the best talks from the conference every week throughout the year, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. I'm also the founder of Serverpod, so if you want to build your backend in Dart, make sure to check that out. Here is Lucas Josefiak. He's the founder of Widgetbook, and he will talk about cataloging your widgets and how to collaborate better with designers. Let's dive in.
Hi, my name is Lucas and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Widgetbook. I'm super excited to be talking to you today about how you can easily set up your own design system and simplify your UI reviews with your entire product team. Let's jump straight in. First of all, I'd like to start with a question. Who of you already used the open source Widgetbook? Please write it in the comments right now. Thanks a lot for sharing. For those of you who have not yet used the open source Widgetbook, as I said, it's an open source package, and our team behind the open source package is using Flutter already since its inception, and we've been super community focused ever since. So we've not only actively participated in, but also organized Flutter events in the past. That's why I'm really passionate about this conference as well. And our team has also been featured by Google's Flutter team as experts for design systems and also developer-designer collaboration. So, for example, we've been featured on the biggest Flutter conference last year, Flutter Forward, because our open source package already helped multiple thousands of Flutter developers to build their design systems and then also their companies to simplify their designer and developer collaborations. What are we going to learn today? So today we're going to talk about how you can build your own design system with Widgetbook and how you can then quickly test your widgets in different use cases. And all of that with a free-to-use open source Widgetbook. And with Widgetbook Cloud, the collaboration platform that we set on top of the open source package, you can then host your Widgetbook, automate golden tests, and simplify design reviews. So let's jump straight in. The client usually in app development starts with an idea, and the designer then has to bring the idea to life with the design. And if the project should stay around for more than 3 to 6 months, usually a design system is being created. Designers do it today, mostly with Figma, where you can easily create your design system. And then it's up for us, the developers, to create it in code. But unfortunately, it's quite a hassle. So we as developers in the past have created and maintained our own customly written gallery apps or widget libraries. And it was not only quite a hassle to create it and maintain it, but it was also, in the end, not concise enough. It was not a real design system. And that's why we decided to build the open source package Widgetbook. For all of you that are coming from a web development background, probably you already heard or even used Storybook.js, which is one of the most popular JavaScript packages. And our team is coming from a web development background. We used JavaScript in the past extensively. And when we switched to Flutter, we noticed there's not really a Storybook solution there. That's why we built it, first of all, just for ourselves, just for our team. And then when we were able to convince more and more teams and companies to switch to Flutter, they also asked us, hey, Lucas, can you share your Storybook for Flutter with us? We're like, sure, let's open source it, make it available for free to the community. And we decided to call it Widgetbook because, as you all know, in Flutter, everything is a widget. So let's see how it works. The first step that is interesting and important to understand is Widgetbook is a separate app in your Flutter project, and it works best in the monorepo structure, meaning you should always outsource your UI library or design system into a separate package. And then you're using the following dependencies, using the Widgetbook annotation and the main package Widgetbook. and you're then using our Widgetbook generator as well. Once you did it, it's already time for us to catalog our first widget in Widgetbook. And to include your widgets in Widgetbook, you can just easily use our @widgetbook.useCase annotation. And this annotation actually allows you to catalog your widgets, and you just need to provide a name, in this case default, because you only have one use case here. Then we need to provide a type, in this case cool button, because of course our first widget needs to be fancy that we catalog. And that's then just the button that we are returning here. And that's all you got to do to include your widgets in Widgetbook. And afterwards, we can create our first Widgetbook. How we do it is with another annotation. So in our main.dart file, in our Widgetbook package, we are writing @widgetbook.app. And then we just return a widgetbook.material. In this case, material, because our app is based on the material theme. But it doesn't need to. So for more information, please check the docs. They provide more information regarding this. But once you are done with that, it's already time for us to use the build runner to generate our Widgetbook. We can later also use it to maintain it. And then our all-time favorite command, Flutter run. And let's check it out. Let's run our first Widgetbook. So what you can see here in Widgetbook is on the left side, you can see our organizer folders. So we can easily switch through all the different widgets we cataloged in Widgetbook. So we can start with very granular widgets like atoms, speaking from a design language, like a badge or a card or just a primary button. But we can also catalog more complex widgets like a molecule, for example, a basket card here. Or we can also catalog entire screens here. And what you can see here now as well is, if you remember, we used our @widgetbook.useCase annotation. You can have multiple use cases for your widgets. So in this basket screen here, for example, we have one use case empty and another use case called filled, because the basket screen is filled here. Makes sense, right? And it's not a screenshot or a PNG file here. So we ran, in this case, a macOS build, and that's why our widgets are interactive. So you can even increase the amount of mangoes here and see that the total is going up. Awesome. So that's how you can build your own design system using Widgetbook. And the next step is we are going to check how we can quickly test our widgets in different use cases. Because what is quite important is that nowadays our apps became more and more complex. Because apps nowadays need to support multiple themes, multiple devices, multiple languages, accessibility, and so on. And in Figma, again, quite easy to do. In code, it oftentimes required us developers to fire up multiple emulators, restart them again and again, navigate to exactly the component, mock the state, and then test it again and again. And it's quite a hassle. So testing our widgets in all use cases really takes forever. Not with Widgetbook though, because Widgetbook gives you superpowers. Let's check what I mean with this. So we included add-ons in Widgetbook, and add-ons allow you to preview your widgets in different global properties. Your add-ons can be found in your main.dart file, in your Widgetbook package, where you can just include your add-ons right here. And as an example, you can, for example, have a material theme add-on that allows you to switch your widgets or check your widgets in light and dark mode. Again, let's see it in action. So we just stick with the screen here for now. Usually teams start with cataloging their components, and then by getting more and more proficient in Widgetbook, they are starting to add more and more complex widgets, and at some point end up with screens, as they are visually a bit more appealing. And we're going to stick to the screens for now. And you can easily switch your themes here from light to dark mode, Or you can also switch your device frames from iPhone to iPad, for example. And what you can see here easily is there's an overflow. Something we very quickly spotted in Widgetbook that would have been harder to spot without it. And what you can do as well is you can, for example, also switch your locals from English to German. And as you can see, there are many more add-ons. And the amazing thing is, by now we already have more than 2,000 users actively in our Discord server. And they already created a lot more add-ons for the Widgetbook and Flutter community. So feel free to check them out. Unfortunately, I don't have the time today to cover all of them, but they are all explained in great detail in our docs. The next feature we have in Widgetbook are our knobs. And the add-ons, as we mentioned, they allow you to preview your widgets in different global properties, while the knobs allow you to do the same for widget-specific properties. So what you do with widgets in Widgetbook is when you are returning them, you need to mock the required parameters. So for the homepage, in this case, the required parameter is a title. And what we could usually do is we could just provide the mock here. We could just provide the string here. But what we can also do is we can make it dynamically adjustable in the Widgetbook UI. So you can write context.knobs.string in this case, because it's a data type we need, but no worries, we support all the data types. You provide a label that is going to be seen in the Widgetbook UI. I'm going to show you in a second. And then we provide an initial value, in this case, homepage. And again, it's demo time. So let's check a knob, for example, for this basket card here. And as you can see, one of the knobs that we have here is the number of fruits. So the label is shown in the Widgetbook UI, and the default value here is 1, because 1 mango is added right now. But we could add more mangoes here. And as we can see, it works great with 4 digits. With the 5th digit, doesn't really look that great anymore, right? Of course, you can argue now, who orders 15,000 mangoes? Hey, maybe your clients want to, and you should cover the case. And with Widgetbook, you can quickly test it. And in this case, I only showed you the knobs for the strings. There are, for example, colors supported as well. And as I mentioned, every data type is supported. So feel free to play around with it, and looking forward to your feedback in our Discord server. Amazing. So that is a wrap. These are the benefits of our free to use open source Widgetbook, which you can use to build your own design system and to also quickly test your widgets in different use cases. And if you'd like to get started, go ahead, go to pubdev, search for Widgetbook, or just check out docs.widgetbook.io to get a detailed explanation on how to get started. Next step for us right now is we want also to check out Widgetbook Cloud, which allows us to simplify our UI reviews with our entire product team. As we all know, collaborating with designers is quite difficult. What happened to us a lot in the past was we as developers implemented the design, quite proud of our work. And we had to, when we wanted the designers to challenge it, and first of all, it took a while for them to be able to challenge it. And when they finally got to challenge it, sometimes they don't like it. They burn it, and we have to start all over again. And the problem is that at this point, usually we are already finished with the app. So we created already a test app to test with the designers, and it's quite difficult for us to make changes. That's why we'd like to include the designer a lot sooner in the development process. Let's see how. Widgetbook Cloud allows you to, first of all, host your Widgetbook, to then automate golden tests, and to then simplify design reviews. Let's start with the hosting feature. Welcome to Widgetbook Cloud. The first thing that you can see here is a list of builds. And Widgetbook integrates well into your CI/CD pipeline, so that anytime you are committing a new build, you are going to see a Widgetbook build for it on Widgetbook Cloud. And you can see not only one build per branch, but really multiple builds for every branch, so that multiple developers can at the same time work on different features and thus on different branches, and always share their most recent improvements. And you have version history as well. So it goes way beyond the Widgetbook that you could host yourself. And we could then select, for example, this build here. We're seeing status was successful. We're seeing when it was uploaded. We're seeing more information regarding a source. And if we click on visit, we get to access this Widgetbook, and you have exactly the same functionality that you know locally. So for example, we can open our screen again. We can play around with the widget. Basically exactly the same behavior that we knew from locally. And we could then share the screen, share this link with anyone on the team that should access the Widgetbook, or we invite them to Widgetbook Cloud so they can just access it straight from the Widgetbook UI. Amazing. The next feature that I'd love to show you is how we can automate golden tests and also simplify design reviews with Widgetbook Cloud. And for this, let's jump back into the product. So let's go to reviews, and in reviews, as the name suggests, you can see reviews. And how reviews work is whenever you are creating a pull request, Widgetbook is creating like a visual pull request for you. Meaning we take screenshots from all of your cataloged Widgetbook use cases of, first of all, your base branch, in this case staging, but then also of your new changes of your feature branch. And we are then running UI regression tests or golden tests to automatically verify for you what changed. And if you click on a review, you then get a list of all of the changes that have been made. In this case, quite obvious to see, our primary button changed. But what happened to these screens? You maybe don't know really, so you can click on highlight div and therefore see exactly what changed. And that's how, first of all, you as a developer can use Widgetbook Cloud to really find out were all of my changes intentional, yes or no. If they were, amazing, please go ahead, share it with your entire team, mainly with designers, product managers, QA testers, or also clients if you're an agency, to have them review it as well and gather feedback of the team very early. And what is quite exciting about Widgetbook Cloud and the review feature is that we were able to overcome one of the biggest challenges with golden tests, and that is that depending on which platform you're using, your golden tests might fail. And with Widgetbook Cloud, it's no longer an issue. And regarding collaboration with your entire product team, we also have a Figma integration. It would go a bit beyond the time. That's why, unfortunately, I can't feature it in this talk. But if you're curious to check it out, please, I'm happy to invite you to test Widgetbook Cloud and see it for yourself. So that's how you can use Widgetbook Cloud to keep design and code in sync. You can host your Widgetbook, you can automate golden tests, and you can simplify design reviews with your entire team. And your developers and designers finally have a great time together and can live happily ever after. As I mentioned, I'm super happy to invite you to get early access to Widgetbook Cloud right now. So if you'd like to try it, please go to widgetbook.io and test the product for yourself. I'm Lucas, co-founder and CEO of Widgetbook. I'm super excited to get your questions right now. Thanks a lot for listening to my talk.